Hey, everybody, running super late. I apologize. Let's get to it. Give me 1 second to just do a couple things, and then I'll be ready to go. Do I get the sound on? Get your fancy music. Hey guys, sorry for being late. I'm really sick of saying that. Sorry, I'm being late and trying to figure out what to do about it. I did hire some other people to help with the back end stuff, so I think that's going to make a bit of difference. Turn flashlight off.
Okay, I've turned torch off.
All right, and give me 1 second here, and we'll get to it. My coffee's about to beep. I'm going to go grab it, and then we'll be ready to go. Let me just go grab it, and then I'll come back. I have a lot to go over, and I'm going to try and take questions, but I have a lot to go over. So tag me somehow if you really want me to answer something, because there's a lot that I want to do before 9 o'clock, and I have a tremendous amount on here. So I'm going to have to try to wrap this up around 9. And I know I always say that, and then this happens, but let me get my call. So to start, I want to go through the cues. That door, don't throw off the light. All right, perfect. Good. All right, so a couple things I really want to go over are just some key levels here. I think it's super important to just do some of the basics again and say, here's our peak. Here's where you're at. You're still struggling. You had every reason to drop yesterday. You had every reason to crack, and you didn't. So it's really it really gets that simple sometimes when you look at this stuff and go, why didn't we crack? Right? Like we could have cracked and we didn't. And why? And I think that's super important for people to get. So like when you look at yesterday and that movement, it's absolutely crazy to me, like what could have happened and it didn't. So tests, breaks, tests, doesn't undercut, and just rips. Now, you have that still value area up here, but you're not breaking. Now, could you break? Yeah, 100% you could, but you're not. So the question then begs, well, if you're not going to break, what do we do? Well, what do you do with it? So to me, understand that you have a level up here that you're probably not getting through today. And I don't think that you have any reason to think that you're going to get through that today up in this area. Like, I just don't think there's any reason to think that that's going to happen. So, you're probably in this range. Maybe you're going to get through that 626. You keep rejecting it. But I don't think you're breaking this. So I think that it's becoming one of those areas where if you have your names and you're buying your dips, that's really the way to go with this. And I don't think that that's changed at all. You've been fighting this level. You had every reason to break it. If they wanted to smoke us yesterday, they could have, and they didn't. Instead, what they did was, oh, look, let's shake out retail. And then after we shake out retail, we'll get to buy the things that we want cheaper. I wouldn't put it past that. I really wouldn't put it past that. And I think that's super important for people to get. So if we look at it from that perspective, it's not that hard to see what's going on there. Now, if I take a look at the SPY, you're going to see something very similar. And the SPY level, I believe we're still at that. Let me just grab this and throw you in here. But that SPY level, I believe we are at, yeah, they jumped it. So, well, they didn't really jump it that high, but you're still at this, like, you're in this range, and it's really starting to change. But like, I don't know that you're going to get through this. You could, but I don't know that you're getting up to like that 700 range today. I just don't see that. You had every reason again to break yesterday. You didn't. They're gapping you down again today, right? And so the question really begs, is this what you're going to see? Are you going to break down again? I don't think so. Like, I truly don't see it that way. So, just pop this back up in here since I already have it open. We'll just make that even cleaner. But I truly don't think that that's where this is going. So, and it doesn't seem that way. And, we're going to have to get into AVGO's earnings. We covered a little bit last night. Okay, this is bothering me. So, you know what we're going to do with this? We're just going to say goodbye to it. All right, bye-bye. So now we leave that up there. This is that level that I don't see it breaking. This is the area that you're hitting. I don't know why it would, why we would break this. If I'm to look at this and literally just start it over, like, which might even be cleaner to do. Here's my level. We know that that's the area where you have that value high, right? And you know that you're not really, you're really trying to break out of it, but you're still holding that point of control. So I don't think you're getting to anything down here. Like, maybe you're going to get there at some point today, but I just don't see it. The real story becomes, to me, about the AI. And I'm going to go over that, and then we'll jump into this and kind of go from there, see where this leads us. But I think there's a couple things to really go over on earnings. The Fed's the Fed. And, they're affecting the world, but they're not really affecting the world. So here's Oracle. So what happened yesterday? They gap it down. They shook out who? Retail. Up, right? Breaks, shakes him out, up, back down, right? Reholds, and then up for the rest of the day. Okay. There was one trade, buy Oracle. Like that was literally the trade. Just buy Oracle. Oh, I'm up $7. Oh, okay. Like that was really it. It wasn't short it. It wasn't anything, right? So when you start looking at that, where does that really put you? Probably in the same area where you're just going to bonk around all day. But there's a couple things I really want to go over here. And again, this is going to be a pretty quick one because I got a lot on today and I have to pay attention. But I'm at that 190 level. And that's where your put wall is now, 190. So can you get to that today? Yeah. Are you going to break 190 today? Probably not. I mean, look, anything could happen, anything. But are you really going to break that 190 today? Probably not. They probably don't want to pay out on those puts today. If you're an option market maker, you're going to probably do everything you can to make sure that you don't have to pay out on those, right? I mean, I know I would. That's your put wall right here at 190. And they're not going to, I just don't see them trying to pay out on that. So I think that would hold. If I look at like the call wall here, and then I'm going to get to this, you're way up there. And, live by the sword, die by the sword. A lot of people got smoked on options here, but I would just tell you start seeing a lot flip at like 200. So like you have a lot of puts sold at 200, like a lot. And I think it's really very interesting that you're probably like, if I had to tell you where I think you pin, I think that's really where this thing's going to wind up pinning. So if I'm to look at this, and I have this set up different ways. So like if I minus the monthly, that drops it. If I minus the net, if we take out the net, it actually still there. So I think this is super interesting. And I'm making notes. I think you could pin to 200 today. I really do. So I really think that's where it's going. So that's kind of where my head is with this. I don't know that I want to do more than that. I don't know that I want to think more than that. But that's really how I see it. The more I look at it, I want to talk about I really want to talk about the earnings. So the earnings, people are upset because the free cash flow wasn't what it was. And they're basically coming out and saying, we're not going to build out until you give us a contract, like until you give us money, which you would think would drive the stock up, in the bonds, you would think. There you go again, thinking. Instead, they smoked it back to a level that held. This is where it gets super interesting to me as an investor. If I go and take a look at a 4-hour and go, oh, this is where we were on the RSI last time. Oh, that's where you are on the RSI now. Like, it's pretty much a no-brainer for me to try it in here. But people are like looking at this and going, oh, well, you missed revenue by 3 basis points. Your earnings were through the roof. Oh, well, they did this and they did that to get to the earnings. Your earnings were through the roof, period. End of story. So it's more a function of if you're building something out and you're changing where your revenue streams are coming from software to the cloud, to which is what they're doing, you're going to have bumps in the road. And I think people need to get that. So that's the first thing. Was Oracle bad? No, not at all. And as a matter of fact, if you go and look at analysts and the ratings, and some people would be like, well, you really do that? Yeah, because they know how to read a balance sheet, unlike Twitter. So if you go and take a look at something like, that's interesting. Cowen just raised Google, about time. I do own this. I forgot that I bought this last night. I'm sitting with it. How am I doing? Oh, good. I'm winning. Yay, more winning. You got some upgrades on Lulu today. Jeffries did the upgrade for one. But let me get back to this because I think this is important. I think if you take one thing, this was the thing, like when I was like, what do I want to do publicly? I was going through my notes last night and thinking about this. So what do I think publicly? Where do I think that you want to go with this? How do I think this plays out? All right. So this is how I think it plays out publicly today and where I want to go with it. AVGO had an excellent quarter. AVGO to me had a really good quarter. Revenues came in line, earnings came in line. The CEO's conservative. The CEO said we're going at 100%. The CEO said these are all the bookings that we have, and that's what we're giving you as guidance. This is we already have, and that's what we're giving you for guidance. So the idea that people are upset because the CEO wouldn't, one, say who their new clients were, that's the first thing. That's why people got like in a little bit of a tizzy. And two, we're going to tell you we can't tell you who our clients are, okay? And two, at the end of the day, no, we're not going to tell you who our clients are. I'm not going to raise my guidance. I'm going to leave my guidance right here and just tell you that this is what I say. So he was ultra conservative on the guidance, and he won't tell you who his client is. So, and I think that's because they signed something. That's where my head is going with this. Give me 1 second here. I got to do something. So if you think about it from that perspective, right? If you think about it from that perspective, I don't have these companies missing earnings. So how do bubbles end, right? First, they don't end because you won't give guidance. Like that's not how this ends. That's not how any of this ends. Like it ends in like a fiery ash with everyone going, I don't care. I got to get in. That's not what people are saying. People are saying, I don't know. I'm scared. And people keep talking about bubbles. Like some guy was on Bloomberg today. He was so excited to come out with the word bubblicious. Like you could see, like he was actually like giddy, like saying it, like he like prepped all night to say this on live TV. Like imagine getting on Bloomberg and that's the thing you want to be known for. Like what are you doing? Like what is wrong with you? I don't know. Anyway, so what does this mean for us, and what do we do with this? All right. So this is where my head is with this, and this is what I think that we need to focus on. At the end of the day, when I look at something like this, to me, when I look at something like this, I think you're getting an opportunity. And I think if you do the work, you do the real work, you're going to get a real opportunity here. I do think that what you're starting to see already, and I do want to point this out, the reviews of OpenAI, this 5, like it's going to be the cat's pajamas. No. And I don't think that these models are going to get as far and as fast as we think they are. And I think that's going to be the problem. And I do think it could affect NVIDIA's gross margins. Does that mean NVIDIA is going to 4? No, but I do think NVIDIA can get smoked. I do think you can get new leaders, and I think you are getting new leaders. I think what people need to start thinking about is how many times these guys aren't saying AI, but how many times these guys are all saying the word inference, and start looking at what that actually means. So, all right, I'll get off my soapbox. I'm going to answer as much as I can in the short time that we have, and I'll try to do it like lightning quick. Bro, you and me both. Like literally foaming at the mouth. Like, go ahead, sell more. I was literally going through which puts I'm going to sell this morning and calculating how much I can make by selling puts over the next month. Like I was literally salivating this morning thinking about it. I have issues, obviously. All right, let's do it. VST, VRT, UPST. VST. I'm not feeling that. I'm not saying it's not going to work. I've got an issue here. I have enough issues in my life. VRT. Why go buy hamburger when you can go buy steak is kind of where my head is with that one. Like, I don't know why I would bother. Go buy the winner. This is super interesting to me. I'll tell you why this is interesting to me, because this fits my model, like in my head. I'll tell you why this is so interesting. Number one, I think you have more levels to get to before you have a problem. So if I drop it here, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So like if I go to this bear chart, and then I go here, and then I go here. Like you have room, man. You can go. Let me see something for you on this. Because out of the 3 ideas, this is like the one you do what you're comfortable with. What do I know? If I'm so smart, why'd I buy a bunch of calls in Oracle and AVGO? If I'm such a genius, right? Sell 50 calls. You got a huge seller at 50 in calls, like enormous, like enormous. I don't know. You're getting through 50, bro. You got a lot of work ahead of you. You got, if you get through 50, you have something. If you can get through 50. Where's John? Oh, there he is. Good afternoon, John. Coming in at like 8 o'clock. How come you're not waiting like 3 hours for me to figure out how to turn on the damn computer? Yeah, I own RR. I actually own these. So like I own this. I bought this here. And yeah, I do think that this is warranted. You can see what I'm watching, right? Okay. And this is definitely something that I'm paying attention to. I think this has to get in rotation. It's got to get into one of these. Like it's got to get into like global robotics. It's got to get into like ARC Q. People have to start seeing and understanding what it is. Look at ARC Q hitting that 55. So once these things get into rotation, I think that that's what's really important. So I'm going to have to go through this fast, guys. I apologize. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, there's something there. I don't know that I'm doing that today, but I do think that's going to get legs. I own this. We got stopped out in the newsletter at break even. I was up like $10 in it. I just didn't get out of it. I think there's more issues with the Neo clouds now, and I think that's what's happening. So XBI is just a no-brainer. It goes higher. I just keep selling this. I'm winning. More winning, more success. That's it. And I do my little DJ Khaled dance. So more winning. Yeah, more winning, more success. ALAB Google. Google's like the most no-brainer trade out there to me right now. Out of everything, it's just a no-brainer. Oh, you want to sell it down? Cool. Like they sold, like I was actually laughing. This is how I know I need a life. So like when this happened yesterday, like this, you know, you're a nerd when, right? So when they sold this down, I bought it. And all I did was just let it fall and then here, and I just wait for the first higher high because you didn't have a higher high if you look at these, right? So once I had like the first higher high, it was pretty clear that you had a shot at it. So I bought it and then I just traded some out. I blew it out the rest last night because I own it long term, but just the day trade. And it just made me laugh. Like, oh, Chat GPT. Okay, here comes like Clippy 2.0. Yeah, sure. Like, yeah, sure. You're going to beat Google. Okay. Like, it just made me laugh about it. And it is what it is. But, you know, this is a no-brainer. Like, no-brainer, man. ALAB, let's do that and see if we have something there. I'll try to get to everybody that was here by 8:30. I like the undercut. I don't know. I just, you got to start closing over those 55s. So like for something like this with me, see that level right here? I don't mind that right now, bro, because we're broadening out. I know a lot of people look at that and they're concerned about it. I need to flip that level. I know a lot of people are going like RSP, SPY, and looking at this and seeing that break. I get it. And yeah, this usually is a spot where we felt like this is what signaled winning and liberation, flipping that 55. I think it's more than that this time. To me, it's like, you know, TNA's finally probably going to make some money for people. Like it's probably not going to be the nightmare that it usually is, right? it's probably eventually going to, make some money for people. It could probably really go. So you flipped in here, and if you really look at it, like you flipped your 55 right here, comes back, retests, goes over, and since then you've just been grinding. Like there's really no reason to do anything with it. My first concern would be a close under the 12, and then a close under the 22. I don't know that you're going to get that anytime soon. I think you just might grind. Now, it's pretty wild, so, you're going to have to watch it. But I think that this can finally get some legs here. So I do. I think DPST can too. I think some of this stuff is finally going to get, I know a lot of people have been playing like LABU. I just rather sell LABD, or I probably should actually just sell TZA too instead. It's just easier. But, you just let these things rally up and then short them. But anyway. We'll see. What else you got, John? Let me do these. I want to do NUA. Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer. The market's not acting. I mean, you say it. I'm sure you saw it. Left, head, right. There's your neckline. The market's not acting like you're at the end phase of an economic boom. It's acting like you're at the beginning of one. If you know how to look for it, IWM, small caps don't rally at the end of an economic boom. That's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. No, bro, at this point, there's probably like restraining orders. I'm not a fat jiu-jitsu instructor, so apparently she doesn't like guys with lean body mass. She likes them. She likes them a little chunky. So it's probably not going to work out. Do I sound bitter? UTHR. I don't know the story, so I'm not really doing you a service. What I would say about it and looking at it would be that you are respecting the living heck out of 418. So if it got back to that, I'd be interested. But with these therapeutic companies, there's probably like a driver, and I don't know what that driver is. So for me to talk about it would just be futile. From a trading standpoint, like let's say I wanted to get in it and I thought it was the cat's pajamas. I'd probably want to know what the volume was on that day. And I'd probably want to know why we're still struggling with it. Now, the one thing you are doing here, and I think it's worth pointing out. Hold on, bro. See it? Sometimes you can see this stuff a little cleaner just by going old school. Doing the open, high, low, close versus the candlesticks. So you're boxing yourself in. What I would be looking for really is a close over that control bar. I don't even think you need this. I think you need a close over that. I think if you can get that you're probably golden. But that's there. That's definitely there. The other thing that you could do with this is take this bar, drop that down, drop it like it's hot. The kids still say that, right? I mean, is it worth it? You know what I mean? Like, where's your stop? Your stop's under here. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so I get stopped out at 465. I get in at like 490 with slippage. It cost me 35 to make what? 35 or 30 with slippage? Like, who cares? I don't know. I don't know that that's worth it. I don't know if that's worth it, Jacob. Hope Tokyo is beautiful. CB, DPZ. You see, this is kind of interesting to me. They tried to bring pizza to international. I mean, I don't know, man. They just don't want our food. Like, I don't really blame them. Our food sucks. So, you know, internationally, that was where they were going to get 81% of their expansion. When I read their like reports, I read their like financial reports, because this is just a monster company. Like, if you can catch the wave of this thing, it's outperformed Google. At one point, it was outperforming Google over a decade. Like this thing's just a monster. I don't think people really understand what this thing used to do. Like it was killing tech companies. But you're in this wave, and the growth was all slated towards international. Well, with all that winning and liberation that tariffs have brought us, I'm sure them importing food and exporting things, I'm sure their costs went up through the roof. So I don't know, man. I don't know that that's the one, John. I'm going to try it. JP Morgan, I bought at, where are you? JP Morgan, I already blew it out. Good morning from Michigan. Michigan's beautiful. The lakes up there are insane. Bro, you have to listen. You have to listen to the call. Like he was basically trolling the analysts last night. Like they were almost begging him to say something nice. It was crazy. Do we want to do this? Do we like this? Let me know if we like this. I don't know that we like this. But it does let everybody see the things. You guys can comment on that if you want this up or you don't want that up. I don't know that I get enough of them to put that out there, but I'll throw that, and you can tell me if we want that or we don't. What's up, Tariq? I'm fine with it. It is chilly in Florida. We don't want it. There's your answer. No, we have a vote. No. Okay. There, it's gone. Say democracy. Democracy in action. They do look the smallest. They do. But here's the thing about it. Like, if you think about it from that way, like walk me through the economic cycle where transports break out, right? and small caps go higher, but that we're going to go down. Like, walk me through that economic cycle. Like, you can't. It doesn't exist. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no economic cycle where this happens. Now, the problem also for me is this, like why I'm on this topic, and I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Does this have unemployment? What's this going to give me? I don't want that. I want this, right? Yeah, I want this. There's been no time in history where we've hit this level coming off a bottom and not gone into a recession, right? So there's not been a time that that's happened. The question really is, how much did immigration, and I'm not trying to get into some political debate, so stop, but how much did immigration affect our unemployment rate? I'm wondering that. I really am wondering that. But you would think it would go the other way. So like if immigration slowed or people come out, then you would think that the unemployment rate would go down. But they're saying somehow that it's skewing it to the upside. So maybe I'm not getting it. I know wages have risen since this has been going on. I know that. But this is the one part of it that I'm not getting. And they're like, oh, it's a K economy. I don't even know what that is. But I don't have an environment, man, where, oh, for God's sake, this guy with his freaking stocks. Can you pick a different symbol? I don't have an environment, man, like where the transports break out. Like you can go and find it for me if you want. And maybe I'm wrong, but when did the IWM break out and transports break out? And I'm wondering if this is what they're going to do. I wonder if he's just leaning on OPEC, like, hey, lower oil prices because I got to get prices down for the midterms, right? And that's what's going to do it. But when I talk to guys that are in the room, that are in the community, that have MBAs and degrees from like really good schools, and they're trying to get a job, they're getting jobs, but it's not that easy. I did have a tech issue this morning. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I don't buy this at all. To me, this is probably a super easy short. You know, with the whole pod thing. It's like, come on, stop it. Stop it. Guys, I'm super late. I have to go, but I'm gonna go through this real quick and see. Well, I apologize because it's rude. I'm trying not to be rude, and it reminds me that I have to work on it. That's why. I don't know why are you so angry. So angry. It's an angry little health. We're from New York. Enjoying the house. Thanks, man. Go to the 2 hour. You're going to give me 2 minutes ago. How about 120? There you go. Now what are you going to do? Yeah. I saw it on the 4. I thought we were going to get something yesterday. I think we got Phil and Oracle too. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, pod stocks, I think that's probably it. Well, go read the news on what the AI is doing or what Chip's doing. The founder, I'm sorry. UNH. It's going higher, Boomer. Oracle's going higher, Boomer. Oracle always goes higher. I don't put a lot of faith into it. I just trade after hours. Yeah, that RR is going to probably have a decent day, I think. Back in the day. CCJ, not really. You can look at uranium. I mean, I like this one a lot. I don't know that I need to be in that space. I do think economic expansion is the theme. I really do. I don't think people are getting it yet. Looks washed out to me, doesn't it? CIM. There's nothing to say. I don't travel. I like Jersey. Jersey to me is like Europe. That's how often I travel. What's up, Mom? Yeah, I see that. Morning from California, morning from Miami. All right. Yeah, it's up there. What's up, Steven? Someone getting spicy? I hear that guy's yelling at me. I don't know, man. Morning from San Diego. All right, I got to jump, guys. I'm super late. Trade to win. Make good choices.